Chapter 1. The collection of Marcus Aurelius' life lessons has remained relevant through ages. Meditations is an ever-unique collection of personal notes written by the Stoic Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius to himself. The notes were somewhat mysterious because they were never intended for publication, but simply for personal clarity. The notes were meant to help Marcus Aurelius, a trained Stoic, define a life philosophy and an ideal character worthy of aspiration for himself. They were also intended to help him reflect on how to make good on the responsibilities and obligations of his position as the military leader of an empire. However, the insights in Meditations have proven to be priceless and ageless, as they have resonated with men of all walks of life for thousands of years. Do external things distract you? Then find time to learn something worthwhile. Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions. Marcus Aurelius. So, who was Marcus Aurelius? Born M. Aeneas Verus on April 26, AD 121, Marcus Aurelius served as the emperor of the Roman Empire from AD 161 to 180. This was the age of the imperial cult, when Roman emperors were divinely sanctioned rulers with vast wealth and power. As a soldier, Marcus was both capable and successful. He embarked on several campaigns in the interest of his empire and people and was triumphant in almost all of them. In a similar vein, he was prudent and conscientious as an administrator. However, the good emperor was not spared domestic and personal troubles. His wife Faustina died at an early age, and his children died one by one. By the end of Marcus' life, only one of his sons still lived. The weak and worthless Commodus, who would end up succeeding Marcus as emperor and ruining his father's life legacy during his short reign. Yet, through his numerous afflictions, Marcus's humility and objectivity were tremendous. And during those years of trouble, Marcus would write 12 books of his private journals, Meditations, which have gone on to become one of the most practical and influential philosophy books in the history of the world. In this summary, we will take a look at the major life lessons that recur throughout the book and how they can help lead a better life. Chapter 2. No one has the power to make you feel any negative emotion without your permission. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that each day is filled with unavoidable troubles caused by the ignorance or bad behavior of other people. As we go out each day, we'll come across all sorts of people: the ungrateful, the arrogant, the busybody, the dishonest, the jealous, and the irritable. In dealing with such people, we must never let our own principles be violated. If anything external distresses you, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your perception of it, and you have the power to revoke this at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. In life, we have no control over what other people do or how they choose to behave. We can't make people act with integrity or make them do the right thing, and we can't change people's temperament or behavior. The only thing over which we have total control in life is our own behavior and how we react to other people's actions. People cannot make you feel any negative emotion, anger, fear, sadness, oppression, unless you allow them. There will always be people who find joy in tearing other people down. People will lash out at you out of jealousy or out of pure hatred. Always bear in mind, however, that regardless of what anyone else says or does, you can maintain your peace of mind by controlling the way you perceive the situation or react to it. Marcus says no one can ever cause you pain or grief if you ignore what goes on in other people's souls and keep track of what goes on in yours. He reminds us that evil people behave the way they do because they are ignorant of what is right and wrong, and that we should forgive them for their wrongdoings, even when they hurt us. I've seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil. None of them can harm me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my family or hate him. Marcus Aurelius. Moreover, Marcus Aurelius believed that it's against our nature as humans to despise evil people and try to avoid them. No one is perfect. When you find yourself judging others, take a deep breath and consider your own faults first. Then you will discover that it doesn't really make any sense to blame others. Instead of judging others and letting yourself be disappointed or distressed by their action, be mindful of your own thoughts and actions and focus on self-improvement. As Marcus Aurelius says, your ability to control your thoughts is all that protects your mind from false perceptions. It's what makes thoughtfulness and affection for other people possible. Chapter 3. Don't waste even a second of your time on earth complaining. We find it easy to complain about almost anything: traffic, slow Wi-Fi, bad customer service, the weather, or even life itself. Whenever we find ourselves facing life's challenges, we simply resort to complaining. One truth the vast majority of us find difficult to embrace is that complaint never changes the situation. Sure, it feels good and momentarily liberating to be able to blow off steam and vent our anger, but we only end up wasting our time and making everything worse. That's why complaining seems so comforting. It lets you describe situations as negatively as you can without any solid plan to take responsibility and try to solve the problem. There is nothing to gain from your worries. Whenever you're facing a challenge, ask yourself, can I do anything about this? If yes, great. So why complain? Get to work and start doing all you can to turn things around. If no, why waste your time complaining when you know it won't make any difference? As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, it's either you can deal with the challenges that come your way, or you can't. If you can, then start doing something and stop making things worse by complaining. Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. Remember, you can endure whatever your mind can make endurable by treating it as in your interest to do so. In your interest or in your nature. Marcus Aurelius. One part of Marcus Aurelius' duty as an emperor he didn't exactly fancy was holding court. Regardless of his disdain for the court, however, he didn't shy away from his duties. He simply trusted in the grand scheme of things, knowing he is the emperor for a purpose. He believes that part of the universe's plan for him at the moment was to deal with the sly courtiers and their flimsy arguments and small talks. Everything that happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. They're both woven together by the strands of fate, your own existence and your experiences. Marcus Aurelius. As a devoted Stoic, Marcus Aurelius strongly believed in the notion of amor fati, a phrase that translates to love of fate. The Stoics believed that the secret to happiness and tranquility lies in accepting everything that happens to us, including suffering and losses, as something positive, or seeing every life experience, either positive or negative, as something that can teach us valuable life lessons and help us grow. Life is too short to waste the quality part of your time complaining. Start acting instead of brooding and assigning blames. Focus on the things you can influence and stop worrying about the things that are outside your circle of control. Chapter 4. Stay focused on the present and live with the understanding that you're here for a purpose. Marcus Aurelius believed that each of us has a purpose, something we were created for, and it is our duty to ensure we fulfill that purpose. There is a purpose for everything, from horses to vine shoots. What's surprising about that? Even the sun and the other gods exist for a reason as well. And why were you born? For pleasure? See if that answer will stand up to questioning. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believe that each and every one of us is a part of a common whole, and that every aspect of life is interconnected in order to fulfill a particular duty. They believe that everything on earth, be it humans, animals, or non-living things, has a purpose or a place in nature. It was in this light that Marcus Aurelius reflected that it is our principal duty on earth to seek virtuousness. Virtue is that it's the highest purpose we humans can commit to. Living a virtuous life means living in honesty, discipline, and courage. Aurelius reminds us that we should get up each morning and do good work, approach each day with a spirit of gratitude, and do your best to contribute to society, paying no attention to the reproach of others. And as you go about doing good, do not expect anything in return for your good deeds. Instead, be content with knowing that you're a part of a whole, fulfilling a great purpose in the grand scheme of things. Virtue is its own reward. Moreover, we all have certain strengths. There are some things which we really do better than anybody else. Find out what you are naturally good at and enjoy doing, and use it in service of others. It is by adding value to other people's lives by doing what you're naturally good at that you become more productive, fulfilled, and happier. When you find it difficult getting out of bed in the morning, remember that your major characteristic as a human being is to work with others. Marcus Aurelius. Aurelius also reminds us to focus on the present moment and live in the now. It's easy to start thinking of all the things we've done wrong in the past, or let our imagination run wild, envisioning all the ways things can go wrong in the future. Like a Roman soldier, focus every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, and on ridding yourself of all other distractions. Marcus Aurelius. The past is gone, and the future is not here yet. These are totally out of our control, and there's no point in dwelling on them. It is this present moment that is in our circle of control. And for our own good, each moment of our lives should be spent doing the things that really matter. Chapter 5. The obstacle is the way. Learn to see obstacles as opportunities. Everyone runs into one obstacle or another at some point in life. We get stuck in traffic. The dream job didn't turn out as expected. Technical difficulties at work. The flight gets canceled. A loved one passed. Hardships come in different forms in life, and they are inevitable. In responding to these obstacles, we can take two distinct approaches. We can get all bitter, negative, and dejected, telling anyone who's willing to listen to us how cruel life has been. Why me? This is unfair. Why can't I just catch a break for once? Or we can choose to see them as a chance to learn about endurance, patience, resilience, and perseverance. We can choose to see obstacles as the very things that can help us grow, progress, and live better lives. Just like any other Stoic, Marcus Aurelius knew that obstacles were actually opportunities in disguise. To Aurelius, obstacles were opportunities to create success and evolve to become a better person in the process. Just as nature works around every obstacle and impediment in its path and uses them to its purpose, so too a rational person can turn each challenge into raw material and use it to achieve its goal. Marcus Aurelius. In the year 175, Marcus Aurelius' health started declining very rapidly, and almost everybody in the empire was aware that the emperor's reign was coming to an end. At this point, some disturbing news reached Aurelius. Avidius Cassius, the emperor's best friend and most trusted general, had revolted and declared himself emperor. Instead of getting angry and feeling disappointed, Aurelius simply saw the whole situation as an avenue to preach peace and forgiveness. When Cassius was captured, Aurelius wouldn't execute him for treachery. Instead, he pardoned Cassius and let him live. The mind adapts and changes to its own purposes, the obstacle to our acting. The hindrance to action propels action. What obstructs the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Whenever you encounter any obstacle in life, no matter how terrifying, do not flinch, do not get discouraged. Lean into the problem and give it everything you have. Never forget that within each obstacle in life lies the element of its own disillusion. Be, as Marcus Aurelius says, like nature, in the way it works around every obstacle, every impediment, using it for its purposes. Chapter 6. Meditate on your mortality and let your awareness of it inspire you to live your best life. Nobody likes to think about dying. We all long for immortality. But the fact of life remains that human life is ephemeral and fleeting. All of us will die one day. Though a lot of people have spent incredible amounts of their time trying to escape death, no one has been able to. Death is there, whether we like it or not. Hippocrates healed many diseases and then got sick and died. The Chaldeans foretold the deaths of many others. In due course, their own time came. Alexander, Pompey, Caesar, who won many battles and took many cities, they too departed this life. Marcus Aurelius. In light of our inevitable mortality, we can do one of two things. We can pretend it's a myth and cling to the illusion that our time on earth is unlimited. Or we can face this reality, embrace it, and convert our awareness of death into something positive and active. Marcus Aurelius reflects frequently on the impermanence of life. In his meditations, he reminds himself of all the great men before him who had come and gone. He thought of all the great things they achieved and how they all wound up meeting their demise in due course. The Stoics believed that the key to living well is to learn how to die well. To live a good life devoid of fear of the unknown, start with the thought of your mortality. Accept and embrace the reality and inevitability of death. The more you contemplate the fleetingness of life, the less you cling on to it and the less you fear death. The phrase for this reminder of death is memento mori, which translates to remember that you will die. As you live in awareness of your mortality, you will gain a sense of proportion and become able to separate what is significant from what is truly important. Knowing your days are numbered gives you a sense of urgency and purpose. You'll approach each day with gratitude and make the most of every moment. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Marcus Aurelius. As Marcus Aurelius did, let the awareness of the ephemerality of life inspire you to live your best life and let go of trivial worries. Live an upright and virtuous life and love your fate. Conclusion. Meditations of Marcus Aurelius remain as relevant today as they were almost 2,000 years ago. In his reflections, Marcus Aurelius tried to answer many questions. Why are we here? How should we live our lives? How should we handle pain and mishaps? How can we protect ourselves against the stresses and pressures of daily life? How can we live with the awareness that someday we will no longer exist? Marcus Aurelius' meditations define a life philosophy and an ideal character worthy of aspiration for himself. They were also intended to help him reflect on how to make good on the responsibilities and obligations of his position as the military leader of an empire. However, the insights in meditations have proven to be priceless and ageless, as they have resonated with men of all walks of life for thousands of years. This collection of thoughts serve as a reminder of the morals of the Stoic philosophy of life. It reminds us that as individuals, we must practice virtue, live in the moment, take charge of our thoughts, focus on the things we can control, and ignore any form of distraction. Try this. Let go of the past. Forget about all the things that went wrong in the past and stop worrying about the future. Learn from your mistakes, move on, and focus on living your best life now.